Hello. Good morning, fellow club members and honored guests. It's my privilege and pleasure to welcome to you all on the first session of Doyen Club meeting. Today, as I already mentioned, it's our first formal meeting session. As a part of our meeting, there are two basic parts. Could you please next slide? Next slide, please. Thank you. As part of our meeting, there are basically two parts. The first part will be prepared speech. The prepared speech will be, we have our member of communication club. They will be delivering their speeches on the base of 10 projects in the communication manual. The second portion will be consist of our table topic session. The table topic session, all the members will be practice on their thinking and speaking on their field skills. And as a master of ceremony of the day, it's my duty to introduce the appointment holders who will assist in the proceeding of or the running of the today's program. Could you please on the next slide?
Could you increase the speed of the volume?
Okay.
Do you want the mouse?
No.
Change these slides.
Yeah. Okay, as I have already mentioned, I'm performing as a duty of the master of the ceremony. In spite of that, Ashwini Vardwaj, he will be as a general evaluator, Mr. Chirag Jaiswal as a grammatist. Hope sir you will be, Ashwini has already given you a brief about your role. And Jagdeep Gosain will be our timekeeper. Sandeep Diman as an snafu counter. Mahinder Gothwal as gesture. And Pradeep Kumar as our extempore host. In spite of those, we have also our speech evaluator. Each speech will be assigned a one speech evaluator, and we have Ashish Negi, Vipul Mehta, Abhijit Parihar, Harmeek Singh, and Vikrant Verma as a speech evaluator. So let's start our session with the first and foremost for our three speeches of the day. The first speech will be of the Mr. Sandeep Nagpal. It happens sometime. Let's hear more about from Sandeep Nagpal.
So Ashish Negi will be evaluating Mr. Sandeep Nagpal.
Okay, so friends, my topic is it happens sometimes. So today I will be sharing some of incidents from my life. And the first incident is from my college life. Before I start, it is said that God writes our destiny before sending us to earth. In this world, some of us believe it and some of us don't. And some just keep wondering. So I'm also not able to decide whether I should believe in this ideology or not. Most of things in my life are not decided by me. There was always some incident which gave me some focus and put me on a different path than I decided. So one of the similar this incident is of 1994. I was a teenager and I got admission in Government Polytechnic Firozpur. Basically I am from Bathinda. And it was the first time I was living away from my family. During those days, ragging was a big menace in the technical colleges. So first day, when I reached hostel, day was quite good, and when it was night, it was a horrible night. Our senior called us on the roof and they ragged us very hard, simply. And actually they assaulted me because I denied to follow some of the orders. There was some sort of big conflict. Some people supported me, some juniors, and there was a big lobby. And finally, I have to follow later on. So that horrible night passed somehow, and next morning I decided that I will quit the college. I will not pursue my studies further. So I took my bag, went back to Bathinda, and told my parents that I am not going to that college again. So my father was listening to me. He was very quiet, and he said, "Okay, let's join me from tomorrow." Now, little information about my father actually. My father's business. My father is a vegetable seller. Daily morning, he wakes up at 5 o'clock and he will eat at Sabji Mandi, then purchase vegetables from the market, and then spend whole day selling them to earn bread and butter for our family. So I joined my father and spent one full week with him. And then I realized that life is really very tough. Earlier, I never felt it because my father never let me feel it. So anyway, now I was a vegetable seller. I was selling vegetables. One day, two old ladies came to purchase some vegetables from me. One of them asked, "You are a young guy, why don't you study?" The other lady said, "What he will do with the study? He has to sell vegetables." So he told me in Punjabi that ये सब्जी वाले का बेटा सब्जी बेचेगा, डीसी थोड़ी लग जाना इसने. So her word actually pained me a lot. And next day, I did not join my father. I stayed at home. I keep thinking whole day, and then I decided that I have to go back. So I talked to my parents that I am going back. So then next day, I reached college. At this time, all the ragging was very easy to bear, and I succeeded later on. So today, when I think about that lady, I feel that that was a divine lady who changed actually my focus of life. Otherwise, I might be a vegetable seller even today. Right? So I believe that this course of life was not set by me actually. It was God who set my path with the help of that lady. So that's why I will say that sometimes it happens that incident drive us to a path. Although we may believe that this was led by us, but indirectly, it is God who is giving us opportunities and who is putting us on right path. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep. Thanks for sharing your wonderful life experiences. It was quite motivational for that if you are having a self-confidence, you can achieve anything in your life. That was awesome. Okay, now let's call the second orator, Mr. Ashish. It's the Pallav Mehra, My Life, My Words. As the object is also the icebreaker, the project that you are doing. So let's call him and hear something more from our friend.
Hello everyone, thanks for calling me here and giving me a chance to present what my views for my life has been. I've given chocolates. Before we begin, let me bribe you with chocolates. I know you have to vote for best orator. Please consider that as a bribe. The point is, whenever we hear these words as introduce yourself, these all brings the great good memories of college, as Mr. Nagpal has also shared, of all the ragging and things where senior always walked up to us and said, "You introduce yourself and make that interesting." We all have done that. We all have done that, presenting that all in Hindi, presenting all in English, using various words, using various sentences. But the point was to make that interesting. So history repeats itself. Now we are all here again presenting, introducing myself with again one goal to make that interesting. I'll just brief you about myself. Pallav Mehra is working with engineering team here. Right now I'm working with OSS team, Oceaneering Australia Subsea Services. So you guessed it all right. I did my graduation in mechanical engineering. I'm being led by Mr. Ashish Tandel. So my interest is to ride bikes, but I'm getting married on this 21st, so bye bye to that. I also like playing computer games, but I have to bid farewell to that also. I like listening to music, but Skype is now the primary most thing. The interesting thing is these all things happen in life, and you have to accept that. And all married people must be complying to that also. But the most important thing which drives me is creating new things. During college days, I have created many robots and won few prizes in that. I've also prepared one device as a prototype for helping handicapped people to run normal taps and saving some water. I've also prepared a hexapod, that's a 6-legged robot during my college project. The goal was to that a robot can be able to walk on any terrain. It did walk, but only on smooth surfaces, so partial successful. These things are good. Means I've also created glider making competitions, made few gliders, and all the things. So what I want to say is the best thing a mechanical engineer can become is being creative and being lazy. That drives you to pursue or create some new devices which drives other things. You don't have to do the work. We created washing machines, so we don't have to wash the things. So the best thing is to be creative and be lazy. I don't have much because I was not able to complete my speech, so I would summarize myself stating one example. Recently, Honda car maker has appointed a new chief for their R&D division. His name is Mr. Mukomoto. Interesting thing is he's a 26-year-old guy and leading a complete design team, the R&D division, because he had some new creative ideas, new things to follow, and he was full of energy. So my wishes, being energetic and being creative. Thank you.
Thanks, Pallav, for your share the information that you have on the moment from your life that you have shared. Okay, now that's for our third orator. It's Jagdeep Dalal. The night my life stood still. Let's see what's the night he has been talking about. And the speech evaluator is Abhijit Parehar.
Hi everyone. My name is Jagdeep and I am working for ROV Installation Norway. As a part of Doyen Club, I speak a speech. I want to share an incident of my life with you. I still remember the night of 14th Feb 2014 when I got a phone call from my best friend Mohit, and he was pretty nervous. But I haven't seen him nervous in my entire college life. So I told him to calm down and please tell me what happened. Then he narrated me that he and his girlfriend went out for a night out and somehow her parents came to know that they are night out. So I asked him the whole story and then he narrated me that he got frightened and they didn't pick the phone call, and later on he got the courage and picked the call. When he picked the call, they were very angry and asked him who you are and where is our daughter. Then he replied that we are on a night out. So they told them to come home directly, and they cut their phone. So I asked him to please calm down and let's meet. So I told him that we can meet at Ambala as early as soon. So we met there at 11 p.m. in night. So first thing came to my mind that they both are from Rohtak, and all of you know that Rohtak is famous for honor killing. So it won't be safe to go at late night to their home, and we both are alone. So I suggested him to involve your parents, but he got frightened. No, I can't tell them that we are on a night out and I was with a girl, so they will kill me. So okay, he said okay, we both will go, you go home. and I will solve this situation. But I told him, no, we are good friends, so I don't want to leave you alone. So let's handle this situation, and we did it so many times in our entire college life. Then we left for Rohtak and we reached there at 4 in the morning. Suddenly it came to my mind that why not involve your parents, because it won't be safe to go there. So he resisted for a moment, but then finally we decided, let's go to your home first and then we will go to her home. So we knocked his door at 4:40 a.m. in the morning, and his parents were shocked to see us with a girl at that moment, and they inquired us what happened, and we narrated the whole story to them. Initially they shouted at him that you should inform your parents at least, and you are doing such things. But they got calmed down and asked the whole story. After that they asked both of them, are you serious? Then they replied, yes, we are. So they asked that, okay, calm down, we'll go to her home and ask their parents, and let's handle this situation. So we left for her home. My friend's parents told us that we should stay in the car and park our car away from her home, because we don't know who else are there in their home. So that was a nice decision from them. So we both stayed in the car, and his parents and his girlfriend went to her home. After 5 minutes we got a phone call from his parents, and they told us that, okay, come inside, there is no one else, there are just few people. So my friend told me that you go inside, I won't. So he pushed me inside, and they thought me that I am his boyfriend. So they questioned me a lot of things, and I was shocked. Why the hell they are questioning me? Because I haven't done anything. I'm just his friend. So they asked me, where are you living? Are you living in PG or flat? So after a few minutes, his parents intervened and told them that no, he is just friends, and another one is Mohit. So they were very angry at that time, but my friend's parents intervened in the situation and told them that there are no more kids, and let's handle this situation and don't take any decision in any direction. So finally they decided to think over that decision. Sometimes life put you in a situation where for which you are never prepared, or you are never sure what to do. The best thing is to keep calm down and think positive.
Thanks, Jagdeep. That was something interesting. Okay. Now let's call. I think we have already so much of fun in this speech, but let's call our judge Mahinder Gotwal to share some of his jokes.
Hello everyone. Now it's time to laugh and let's disturb someone who is sleeping. Okay. So the first one is teacher to student. Teacher, why are you late? Then student replied that there was a man who lost a 100 rupees note. Okay, then teacher told to students, then that's a great job that you are helping to him. Then the student told him, no, I am not helping to him. I am standing on that note. I was standing, sir. And second one is A to B. Then A, why are you crying? Then B, the elephant is dead. Then A, that was it is your pet? And then B, no, it's not my pet. Actually, I am one who must dig his grave. Thank you.
Thanks, Mahinder. Okay, let's come to our fourth orator, with Soumya Chakraborty. The topic of the speech is Call of the Sea. Seems like something nice. And the speech evaluator is Harmeek Singh.
Hello everyone, I am Chakraborty, working here as an engineering analyst for over a year now. I am here today to speak a bit about myself and my life's journey till now, to introduce myself to the fellow members of the Doyen Club present here. I guess many of you would have guessed by my name that I am a Bengali guy. I hail from the beautiful city of Kolkata. I grew up there and had my basic schooling done there. Then I surprised and to a large extent absolutely shocked my traditional minded Bengali family by deciding to do my bachelor's in marine engineering. And I went on to have 4 absolutely tough but enjoyable years of studies in Pune, followed by 2 amazing, probably the best years of my life, sailing around the world on huge ships. Then I decided to pursue my further studies and went on to do my master's in subsea engineering from the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow. Now, in order for the speech not to be too boring, I thought I would share a bit about my sailing experience with you guys, because none of you would have that experience, barring one person. Yeah, correct answer. As I had said before, those were the 2 best years of my life till now. I was working for Chevron, and we were carrying crude oil from the Gulf countries to the company's refineries all over the world. Now, straight up, working on ships is very hard work. I mean, working in the engine room under immense time pressure and peak summer temperatures going above 50 degrees is real tough work. But to me, there were 2 superb perks of the job, apart from the obvious fact that you can travel the world, which made this job so immensely pleasurable. Firstly, each and every day that you spend out in the sea, you get to breathe in the freshest air that you'll ever get in your life, anywhere. Every time you walk up to the bow end of the ship, that experience of that fresh air and that salty spray hitting your face is absolutely blissful. I mean, an experience like that would bring out many of the hidden poets amongst you guys too. I tried that, but then I realized I didn't have a single poetic bone in my body, so I left it. The other great thing, which for me even exceeded the previous experience, was the amazing food that they used to serve on board. And probably the company realized that the only way to keep a bunch of tired sailors happy was to ensure that the steward department would dish out the most delectable fares at the end of the day. And then if you would get an Italian chief engineer or captain who have a penchant for fine dining, it would definitely end up in a mouth-watering gastronomic adventure. Now, coming towards the concluding part of my speech, on a more serious note, sailing literally drills those values of teamwork and responsibility into your system, because there is no way that you are going to survive a single day out there in the sea if you don't imbibe and respect those values. But to me, more than anything, it taught me how to respect others. There would be many instances when a crew member would be shy to share his or her ideas, maybe because of language barrier, or more importantly because they would be afraid to offend an officer. On every such occasion, I have seen that a simple smile and a reassurance that your views would be respected too would work wonders, and it would oftentimes elicit the most amazing and useful advice from them too. And when you are respecting the person in front of you, that person also reciprocates that feeling, and that is when you enjoy the real essence and fun of teamwork. I am extremely grateful that I had these amazing experiences during my seagoing years, which have taught me so much, and also which have left me with these amazing and everlasting memories, which I will cherish for my whole life. I guess you all also enjoyed this very, very brief insight into the world of sailing, and till we meet again, to say in seagoing parlance, I would wish you very fair winds and following seas for all the endeavors in your days to come. Thank you and have a good day.
Thanks, Soumya. It's very nice speech. Okay. our final, last but not least, orator, Ashish Tandel. The topic of the speech is "It's Never Too Late," and the speech evaluator is Vikrant Verma.
Hello everyone. I guess it's been the journey is being getting tough. I have seen all 4 speeches; they are marvelous. Let me start with my introduction. My name is Ashish Tandel, and I am working as an assistant manager in design. It's been 6 years working with Oceaneering now. In total, I am having 9 years of experience, out of which 7 years is in oil and gas domain. I have done my graduation in mechanical engineering from VD University in Bangalore. My family, I'll talk about my family. I have my wife and 2 twins daughter. I love my family the most. No matter how tired I am at work, not physically, mentally, whenever I get back home after work, the smile makes me happy. I would like to talk about my education background and the struggle I made in engineering. Before that, let me give you a detailed background of my hometown. I am from a small part of Gujarat, which is a coastal area. My caste belongs to fishermen. However, none of our family member in fishing business. I did my schooling in Gujarati medium till 12th standard. That is, everything I studied was in Gujarati, including maths. When I learned alphabets in 5th standard, when English subject was introduced to us. So English was just like another subject for me. When I joined engineering, the worst part of it was to understand lecture, write something in English, and do a self-study. I still remember my initial days at engineering classes when I used to stare at the professor to understand what they are trying to speak or what they are trying to teach us. And in each classes, the professor used to dictate their notes. It was very hard for me to write those down in English. So I started writing those in Gujarati because that was the language I was comfortable with. Back at hostel, during my study, each sentence I was reading, I was getting at least 2 to 3 new words. And it was hard for me to understand what it meant. So I started referring Gujarati to English and English to Gujarati dictionary. I really thank one of my uncle who gave it to me. Without that, it would have been very difficult for me. I remember one incident when a group of people were standing, including me, and instead of saying, I feel embarrassed, I said by mistake that I feel proud that I do not know English. And everyone just started laughing at me. And that was the point I decided I had to do something with it. In those days, I met a person called Pradeep. He was my classmate and he is from Karnataka. We become good friends later on. So we come up with a rule that if any one of us speaks in Hindi, then that person has to pay 1 rupee penalty for each word spoken in Hindi. And it worked well. In fact, it worked really well. We started improving. On further, I started reading newspaper, novels. I like Chetan Bhagat novel, which was really easy to understand and was interesting too. Then I started watching English movies, which is Hollywood, as well as Bollywood movie, which was in English with subtitles. That everything helped me a lot. With all hard work and dedication, I was able to clear all subjects in first semester. However, I just scored passing marks in theoretical subjects like physics and chemistry. However, and I never lost the hope. I even worked harder in the second semester and got 67%. And finally, I graduated with 74% in engineering. So here I'd like to conclude that no matter who you are today, what are your skill levels are, you can always improve upon them. Hard work, dedication, and positive attitude are the key to success. And at the end, I would say it's never too late. Today I'm here with you guys as a Doyen Club member, and I'm looking forward this opportunity to keep on improving my communication skill. Thank you all.
Thanks, Ashish. That was quite a very inspirational, and thanks for sharing your life events with us. Okay, let's start to our next slide. Could you please? Okay, now I would like to call upon our theme host for our today's table topic session, Mr. Pradeep Kumar.
Hello friends, hope you are enjoying today, right? All the speeches, so really wonderful. So coming to, I am a theme host for today. So my topic for today is use it multiple times. So these are the topics I would like to have volunteers.
Can you explain?
Yeah, it's you have to. These are the topics. You have to suppose that you are one day you are spending your time on all these places like a zoo, beach, or museum, or parliament, forest, and temple, anywhere. So you have to using these words. Like for the zoo, you have golf club, radio, piano, and alien. You have to use all these words and explain how you spend your day at these places. So I would like to have one volunteer.
Anybody else? Also go over.
So which?
Hey everybody. I think everybody is enjoying. I saw everybody is quite engaged in the speeches, and these speeches were amazing. So I'll pick. Does anybody want to vote which topic I pick? Or can I just go for anybody? Parliament. Any of the top? Parliament, okay. So, a day at a temple or a day at a parliament? Which one? Parliament. So I spent a day at the parliament. I have to use car, fishing net, tiger, lathe machines. That's going to be interesting. So what happened was that I was home in Delhi, and I just thought, with my friends, I'll go and visit the parliament to see where all the fights actually happen. If everybody saw the video in the Agra assembly, the UP assembly, where everybody was flinging microphones, right? So I thought it was going to be like an amazing place. I drove there in a car. So that's car for you. And I was able to get there about half an hour before time when it actually opens for visitors. I went to the place and it was all covered in green. I found out that the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha have different colored carpets. The red is for the Rajya Sabha because it's it has the elite people, and everybody else, the Lok Sabha for the common man, has the green carpet, which is a remnant from the British times where they had the House of Lords, that's the Rajya Sabha, and the House of Commons, that is the House of the Lok Sabha, right? So I was there and I was thinking, what will happen if I was a centurion or a gladiator in this well, and I could actually catch the parliamentarians and kick their asses, whoever don't behave properly. So maybe if I was a speaker and a gladiator, I could have a fishing net, and whenever anybody would go above and beyond whatever they were doing, I would throw a fishing net on them, catch them, and start humping them with a trident. Maybe that's what the gladiators used to use. So that was an amazing experience. Also, I figured who's the tiger of the Lok Sabha. I think everybody believes it's either Narendra Modi right now, right? He's a tiger, right? He does whatever he wants to do, or it was Bal Thackeray at the earlier stage. I could not for the life of me figure out why a lathe machine was kept in the House of Commons, the Lok Sabha. I did not understand what was going on. Maybe they had a discussion on how to use lathe machines effectively. That's what I figured, Maybe they don't know what to do with the lathe machine and they just kept it there so that they can use it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwini. It was really wonderful. You're able to use all the words. So, any more volunteer for remaining topics? I would like to have Harmeet.
This is 10 second time. 10 second time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Pradeep, show the next slide. From the previous one. It's okay. I just want to add that you have to contain yourself within 2 minutes for this speech, plus minus 10 seconds, to be eligible for an award.
I will choose this topic and then. So 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Plus minus.
No,
You
sir.
will get the signal.
You have a timekeeper.
You will
Okay.
get the signal.
Okay, should I start?
Yes. Yes.
So friends, one day I went to a museum in Sector 10 here in Chandigarh. I don't like to go to a museum because it's a boring place, but somehow I was forced to go there. When I went there, I realized that when you go into a museum, it's so big that you can't walk through the whole museum on foot. So you have to hire a horse. Okay, so you have to ride a horse, and only then you can cover the whole museum. It's so vast. So I hired a horse and rode on that. I am not a good rider, so it took me some time to learn because I was feeling that I might fall down when the horse was moving a little faster or suddenly stopping. So, but somehow I managed it. Then, when I reached there, on the first area where they were having some big statues from some ancient time, I couldn't realize what it is. There was no word written, anything. So I asked somebody that how do I know the history about this statue? So they told me that you have to call somebody through a loudspeaker. Only then a guide will come. Otherwise, people assume that you know the history, so you should be knowing that what statue is about. So I had to use a loudspeaker to call a guide who came from also riding a horse and helped me, told me the history about all those statues. And then when I was taking a stroll along with the guide, I realized there was kangaroo just jumping around. I said, is it Australia or Chandigarh? You know, so that we just don't want to keep people get bored because of only seeing the history. So we keep them entertained by hiring something like this, having such tantrums thrown into this. So then they had a wax museum also where they had statues of political figures, and when I went in there, the first statue was of Mayawati, and I realized, okay, I said, why is there the fact that she is one of the very important politicians of India, so that's why we have a statue. So somehow I managed to get out of there and had a good day at the museum. Thank you.
Thank you. You want? Okay.
Hello everyone, myself Deepak Negi, and it is my first appearance here, and I'm very happy to join such a elite group. I feel it's a very good startup, and I'm not a very good orator, and my heart is like throttling, but I will try to keep calm. So my topic is a day in a temple. So what happened yesterday is I went to the Ganesh temple in my neighborhood. I normally don't go every time, but once a week I go. So when I entered the temple, what I saw Ganesha ji sitting on dinosaur. I was like totally shocked. I thought I am in the wrong temple. So I checked the GPS and navigation and all that. And somehow they said yes, you are right. So I called the Pandit. I asked him what happened. Where is the mouse? He said, why can't there be a dinosaur? I said, because it is written in the books like it should be a mouse. No, he said, because he is an ancient god, so we needed an ancient animal. So our committee decided that we should replace it with a dinosaur. So I said, okay, it's your rules, it's your game. What can I do? So I just offered my prayers, and when I was about to leave, I saw somebody coming, familiar face. I think I have seen you somewhere. He said, yes, of course, why not? I am the most wanted criminal in the world. He said, I am Osama bin Laden. I said, what are you doing here? Why can't I be here? It is a religious place, but you are Islamic. Why are you coming to a Hindu place? He said, because Now my inner sense has told me that Islamic doesn't doing any good to me, so I will change it to Hinduism, and this way also the Americans won't be able to find me in the mosques. I will be hiding in the temples. So okay, I said, but where were you hiding? I thought you were dead. He said, no, I was the regional manager of Chandigarh of Levi's showroom. I said, why were you in the Levi's showroom? Because Americans won't find me in an American company. Simple logic, man. I said, oh, you are too smart. So what's up? What do you want to do? First of all, I want to have some pizza with you. So I said, now where? Oh, obviously American company, a Domino's. So I said, okay, let's have a pizza. So which pizza? Any pizza which doesn't signify any red color in it. Like I am fearful of blood. So that's all.
Thank you. Thanks. It was really wonderful actually using the words so humorous way. Any more volunteer? I think we have left with 2 topics, right? 3. You want to go?
Okay, I will talk about day in a forest. Actually, I had never been to a forest first of all. But let's presume what can happen if I go to a forest. Someday what happened, I went to a forest, thinking I will find beautiful animals there and some who will look like aliens or something. But when I went there, I saw so much of natural beauty there and people like Bear Grylls, which I always wanted to be someone like him. I just imagine myself to be or something like this, but because I'm a vegetarian, so there are limitations of becoming a Bear Grylls in my case. So what I saw in a forest, that everything is messed up, just like my workstation. So that was something, just related to my life there in a forest. So I went, just far ahead in the forest, and then I saw a nuclear power plant there. So because I'm a mechanical engineer, so I wanted to look into it. So I just climbed the wall of the nuclear power plant and got into it, and there were security forces who caught me there. And because the security forces caught me, they said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm a celebrity." They said, "Which kind of celebrity are you?" I said, "I'm a niece of Farida Jalal." They said, "Who the hell is Farida Jalal?" I said, "She's a heroine, and she's a very famous heroine." They said, "Okay, let's call her." I did. I got the number from the Google and I called her. I said, "Hello, auntie, how are you?" She said, "Who the hell are you?" I said, "I need your help. Someone caught me and I need your help in any case." They said, "Okay, let's help you out." Somehow I got out of there, and then I went again into the forest, doing all the kind of stuff which I always wanted. Then somewhere in the backyard of the nuclear power plant, I saw fire lighting up. So I just thought of going for a fire extinguisher somewhere in the plant. So I took the risk again and went again into the nuclear power plant, thinking the security forces will again caught me. But because I had that Farida Jalal number with me still, so I took the risk and again went inside. And luckily, the officer which caught me earlier again caught me. So because he knew me that I'm a niece of Farida Jalal, so I took a fire extinguisher from him and extinguished the fire. So that was my journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gopal. I think we are running out of time, so we will stop this table topic here and we'll call Paramdeep next.
Thanks, Pradeep. It's quite interesting sessions, and okay, those are difficult ones, not easy ones, but yeah, all the orators that they have come up, they are very well able to get with all the words, and it was a nice session. Okay, let's go to next slide. Yeah, and it's the final time. It's time comes to our evaluation for the today's speeches. And I would like to call one by one each and every speech evaluator to give their comments regarding the speeches. So let's call first of all Mr. Ashish Negi, and he will be speech evaluator for Sandeep Nagpal's speech on the topic "It Happens Sometimes." Okay, there is one more thing that it's a your evaluation time is also a time bounded. You have 2 minutes at maximum in which you have to compile your evaluation, because we are evaluating the speech evaluators also.
There is also a time limit.
Yeah, it's also a time limit. So it's a time limit of 2 minutes.
Maximum.
Yeah, maximum.
They will be showing you cards.
There are the cards.
And there will be
It's
yellow
mentioned here
and
green, yellow, and red cards.
Is this standard same for all the evaluations?
Yeah, it's for every evaluations.
2 minutes. Grammatist is not eligible for these awards. Grammatist is generally evaluated. Timekeeper, standard counter are not eligible for the awards.
Please, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon all. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Sandeep for coming up with a beautiful speech and sharing an incident with us, where he shared with us life is not that easy, like walking on it's not a cakewalk, and sometimes you have to take your own experience to learn the things and realize you have to make your own efforts, because there is another famous saying which says, because you can never learn by another's experience, you have to have your own. And what I feel in the speech that is prepared by Sandeep, the content that was mentioned in that was very crisp and very short. So when you're talking about whole life incident, there could have been few more incidents that could have been added where the others can relate to. But obviously the one that was mentioned was I guess most of the audience present here would be easily able to correlate to that incident. And one time or other, we all must have gone through that phase where we have given a thought, okay, whether whatever I'm doing or which place I am right now, whether it's the right thing for me, whether I have to go back or change my tracks. Okay. I guess that's all from my side, the evaluation part. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashish. Now let's call Vipul Mehta for second speech evaluation of the speaker's Pallav Mehra's topic of My Life, My Words.
Hello everyone. For Pallav's speech on My Life, My Words, he had a good humor added to his speech, kept the audience involved with the decent examples onto it, and he gave a very brief introduction with the good examples, but it was very hard to know that what kind of life he is trying to evaluate and what life he want to live in, what are the lesson learned from the time which he has spent till now. It seems like the presentation was not prepared very fairly. Better preparation can be done. There was a clarity in the speaking. The opening for the speech was not very clear, but the conclusion was fair onto it. The main drawback which I found with the speech was that the jumping onto the points were more. You are not stuck into the one point and explaining it fairly, jumping into the different points. It need to be in chronological order to make sure that it has to be in a decent form. And overall, he had a good humor into the presentation, and the body language and the gesture used during the presentation was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Vipul. It's a very detailed evaluation. I think definitely Pallav is gonna rethink about all the points that you have shared with us. Okay, now let's call our third speech evaluator, Abhijit Parihar. He is on speech evaluator for Jagdeep Dalal's present topic, The Night My Life Stood Still.
Right. Hello everyone. The night my life stood still. Quite an interesting story, Jagdeep. However, I felt that the message did not get across to the team very well. I mean, the story was very nice, but it could have been a bit more crisp. The body took your entire time. The body of your speech took the entire time. The opening and the closure were not very well articulated. So you let the audience drift a bit away from your speech. That was one aspect that probably you can look at in future. The good part was that you spoke very loudly, and most of the time you felt very comfortable while giving your speech. That's the good part that you can carry forward. Overall, I felt that the speech was not very well prepared. Probably you can look at spending some more time on your speech next time. Apart from that, I think he can also work on his tone. It turned into a monotone. You can sometimes raise your voice, take some pauses, have some variation, so that it's easier for people to follow. Right? I think overall what I liked was that the story was pretty interesting, and it was really enjoyable for the team. I wish him the best of luck for the next time. Thank you.
Thanks, Abhijit. As the project was the icebreaker, so I think he has already done very well for coming out and speaking in front of the audience. So from my side, I think the objective was achieved. Okay, now going forward, let's call her Meek Singh for the fourth speech of the Soumya Chakraborty, The Call of Sea.
So it was my prayer to evaluate Soumya. To start with, his strong points he's having a very good accent. When he talks, his gestures are really good, and he speaks at a very good pace, so that it's understandable to everybody. So your opening was very, very, very good. I would say it was excellent. Body was also good, but I think more matter could have been added to there. Okay, and the conclusion was good, but the moment you realize that a lot of time is there, you just fumble and you try to lengthen the conclusion. Otherwise, it would have been very good. What I want to improve is that you should be practicing with the stopwatch. Okay, so had you practiced with, I think you prepared it well. You had done some practice as well, but you didn't do it with the stopwatch. So you didn't realize that the time which you are consuming is much less than the required time. But you used very good vocabulary. The use of words was very good. The confidence with which you speak was very good. The preparation of the matter was really good, except the conclusion part. Okay. So moving forward, I will conclude that your speech was excellent till you realize that you had a lot of time remaining. If you had practiced, and then it would have been icing on the cake. So my advice to you will be practice, practice, and practice.
Thanks, Harmeek, for your valuable feedback. Okay, so now last we can call on Mr. Vikrant Verma. He is evaluating Ashish Tandel's speech on It's Never Too Late.
Hello, good afternoon. Firstly, it was a pleasure for me to listen to everybody, whoever here came up to speak and presented whatever they did. Right. My evaluation, which I did for Ashish, is scaled only to what my level is. So it is going to be only my personal opinion on what he said. But what I felt about his speech was it was very well structured. It was very well prepared. The voice modulations that he used in his speech were really good. He really stressed on where he wanted to stress, right? So in a sentence, a lot of words could be at a lesser tone, a lot of words could be on a higher tone, which you really want to communicate to the audience. I think whatever he wanted to say was very relevant to his topic, so he never went off track, and he kept focus on the topic that he was speaking on. And he also supported with true life events, and which made it only more interesting. the speaker Ashish was very clear in his speech, in the way he spoke, and it was quite pretty audible. He was not shouting, he was not too less in volume as well. The speech was, when I said the speech was structured very well, it had an introduction, it had an opening where he introduced his claim to his background of being from a fisherman family and his education which was in Gujarati medium, and all the efforts that he put in later to learn a new language. He didn't really refer to any hard copy notes, so that point was well covered in the evaluation. I mean, it was very well prepared. What my critical comment would be that there could be a marginal reduction in the length of the speech. I mean, maybe we could have maybe condensed it a little bit more, but all in all, it was very good. Just one last thing before I conclude. That one act which he said of how to improve his English, and he pitched in that event when they had to pay a rupee every time they spoke a word in a different language other than English. That may only work if you are from that western part of the country and you love your money too much. I'm sorry, I don't want to be a racist, but just wanted to make you laugh. Maybe we'll have to keep it 100 rupees if you are from north.
Thanks, Vikrant. It's very nice. Okay, and it's regarding for all the evaluators also and to speakers, that if they have any personal comments or if they want to ask anything regarding their speech personally, they can meet each other after session and consult with each other. Okay, now I will call our general evaluator, please.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I think this is a very good meeting for our first meeting. We're still learning. It was an excellent effort. I'd start off by saying that the evaluators, the evaluators engaged their speakers quite effectively. The best ones were Harmeek, Vikrant, Abhijit. What I noticed was emotional and non-verbal involvement by Vikrant and Vipul, which was very effective. They were smiling and laughing along with the speeches of their speakers, so that they saw that they were being listened to. Also, Harmeek and Abhijit were very good at giving their total time and effort to their speaker, so that they could understand they were being listened to properly. I also noticed that the best openings were by Abhijit, Vipul and Harmeek Singh. The detail given for each and every speaker was quite effective. I think all our speakers will be able to improve. And again, I had given order by saying Abhijit, Vipul, Vikrant and Harmeek were very effective in being able to give detailed evaluations of what to improve, what was good that they can continue. The improvement ideas could have been structured a little better in an order, so that the speakers were able to understand what they needed to improve and exactly how and in what time frame. But there was still a very good effort. Also, what I noticed was that some of the evaluators were not able to articulate their ideas effectively, and they were not quoting what was actually spoken about by the speaker. That was something which was needed to just make us understand that the evaluators actually understood the idea being put forward by the speakers. In conclusion, I'd just like to say that all the evaluators did a great job for our first meeting. They will all be improving. They should all read the effective evaluation manual. And Vikrant was the best in keeping with the time of the speech. Now I'd like to call upon the timekeeper to give me who was eligible for the awards for the best speaker. You can just stand there and tell me.
Okay, for the prepared speeches, the best time kept was with Pallav, Mehra, and for Extempore Session, it was with
just tell me who are eligible for the awards, so people can vote.
Okay, so the members who are eligible for prepared speeches are Sandeep, Nagpal, Pallav, Mehra, Jagdeep, Dalal, Soumya, Chakraborty.
So these are the people you can vote for in the best speaker.
The speech was 4 to 6 minutes, right?
Right.
It was written.
Right. So we kept that in account. For the extempore speakers who won the elimination. Everybody except Ashish Negi. Ashish Tandel, sorry. For the prepared speaker, I'm so sorry. Extempore speakers.
Yeah, for the
I know.
we got 3 members who are eligible for this award. It's Mr. Harmeek Singh, Mr. Deepak Negi, and Mr. Gopal.
So Harmeek, Deepak Negi and Gopal are eligible for the Extempore Best Extempore Speaker Award. You can vote for them. For the evaluators,
For the evaluators, we got Mr. Abhijit Parihar, Harmeek Singh, and Mr. Vikrant Verma as the eligible candidates.
so you can vote for any of these 3 for the best evaluators. We'll start with the vote count now. Everybody can pick up their ballots, vote, and I'll come around to collect them. Meanwhile, the master assembly is coming.
Yes, you can give fruits.
Okay, while everybody is voting for the best speaker and best evaluator and extracurricular session, I think in the meanwhile we can call upon our grammatist Chirag Jaiswal to share his views and comments regarding to this session.
Best evaluator. Best piece. That has to be left blank.
Leave it blank.
But I'm not so very sure as to how attentive will you be when you're voting for the best. Do you want me to increase the volume? Okay. And how can we do that? Right. Is it better now? Why? I think I should be a little loud. Thank you so much. Well, grammatist, the best part is I'm not going to be participating with that green, yellow and red card system, so that gives me some kind of a relief. Alright. Well, to start with, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert at grammar myself. Just tried evaluating on few basics of English grammar that covers use of tenses, use of voices, sentence formations, punctuations, right, and verb to be. Well, in general, probably all the speakers were good, right? They were doing very well. They did very well on most of these aspects. But it's my job to tell you where you can improve upon, so I'm going to do that today. I'm going to cite some examples where they did not do the right thing and tell them how can it be made better. Okay, starting with Sandeep. The good things were the use of Sandeep. Where is he? Alright. Thank you so much, Sandeep. The good thing was Sandeep was able to use tenses in a very well way. Punctuations and tones. Punctuations are not actually a grammar issue, but your tones should match punctuations, right? So you could do that effectively. Certain things that could have been better, those could have been better. Singular versus plural. He started with some incidences, and he stated there were incident in my life, kind of a thing. With where you have to use incidences, right? You can't use incident. You were talking about your past tense, and somewhere you stated that I have to follow, because it was past tense, it should have been I had to follow. Right? Again, because the whole of a story was in past tense, many of the sentences could have been better. The way you formed them were in present tense. You probably could have used past tense over there. For example, let's join me from tomorrow. Your father said, let's join me from tomorrow. So the whole sentence formation probably could have been a little better. Your father said, your father asked you to join from the next day, right? Because You're talking in past now. Again, keep thinking was used one way, one place could have been kept thinking, right? So, because your whole story was in past, the way you formed all sentences could have been better. So, otherwise it was good. You used every other aspect in a very well way. Okay. Pallav. Good things were again singular versus plural. You were having a very good sense of using them. So, a great command on them. Certain improvement ideas. You started with I, Pallav, Mehra is working with design team, right? Could have been M. Should be. It must be. Not even should be. It must be M. I am being led by Ashish. It's not continuous present tense. It's not present tense. It's simple present tense. You're led by Ashish. You're not being led by Ashish. You're led by Ashish. You talked about R&D chief of Honda. You said that he is R&D chief because he had creative ideas. He is R&D chief because he had creative ideas? No, he has creative ideas. Right? Okay. But otherwise, it was excellent. Jagdeep Dalal. Good things were use of punctuations. You were having Jagdeep, yeah, sorry. You're having your tone matching very nicely with punctuations. It's a good thing. Certain improvement ideas, tenses. Parents came to know that they are night out. I'm like, what's that? Right, so I'll be critical over here because that's what grammatic's role is. Okay, parents came to know that they were having a night out. They were having a night out, right? Voices. Ask them, are you serious? So you probably tried using active voice over there. Not even active voice, probably your sentence formation could have been better. Parents asked them if they were serious. Parents asked them, are you serious? Could have been parents asked them if they were serious. A very common mistake that we probably all make is where to place verb to be if it is question mark. One of your question was why they are questioning me, right? We just use why and then have a simple sentence. And at the end we have our tone matching punctuation, question mark. Or has to be ahead of they. Why are they questioning me? Why they are questioning me is not right. Why are they questioning me? These are the only things that I could notice about you. Soumya was excellent. I mean, I had to try really very hard to find something about you. You were having excellent use of tenses, punctuations, sentence formations, voices were all good, right? And probably you can take up the job of being grammatist starting next meeting. You can be relieved. I still tried finding certain improvement ideas which may not be 100% true. I was carrying crude oil. Now it was not just you. We were carrying crude oil. This would be there would be many instances. You're talking about your definite past. Would be. Is it definite? Is it for sure? Would be. When we use would be, it's like uncertainty, right? There were many incidences. At last you ended your speech with, I will wish you all the best, right? I wish you all the best, not I will wish you. Ashish Tandel. Good things were use of tenses. I was surprised to see that. Good use of tenses. I mean, the speech was about you struggling with English language, but it didn't came across like that. It didn't. Sorry, my grammar is wrong. It didn't come across like that. It's again very common mistake we all make. When we use did not, we still use past of a verb, which is not right. I did used. I mean, this is like very wrong grammar. Right? I did use it. Tenses were good. Tenses were good. Sentence formation were good. Punctuations were good. Surprisingly, were very good. and I really mean it. Thanks for that. Certain improvement ideas. you certain point of time in your speech you said, I have my wife and 2 kids. Like, okay, probably could have been I live with my, I live here with my wife and 2 kids. Talked about the professors to understand what they are, because the speech was again in past. You made some mistakes which were about like you're speaking in present but your speech was in past. Professors, you were trying to understand what they are speaking, no, what they were speaking at that time. Person called Pradeep. A person, not called Pradeep. Person. You had a friend. You met a person. His name was Pradeep. Called probably is not falling right over there. You read you like Chetan Bhagat novel. We learned that, and you said that it was very. I mean, you like these novels. Why? Because it was very easy. I mean, Chetan Bhagat novels are good because they were very easy to understand. No, Chetan Bhagat novels are good because they are always very easy to understand. Like they are present tense. They are easy to understand. Today, yesterday, tomorrow, they are easy to understand. Nowhere over there, right? Looking forward, this opportunity. You probably could have used looking forward to use this opportunity to improve upon English. So, well, that was all that I could find fault at.
Thank you, Chirag. It was very nice evaluation that you have done, that you have shared with us, and I can feel that okay, it is the one of the toughest job that you are performing today, and I can understand. We can all understand that okay, you have to be very good listener, and you have to be actively listening throughout the session, each and every one. That one even single mistake or what, even slightest has been you are going away from your track. So it's very good of you. And I think only you can perform that job very well. Okay, thank you very much for your efforts. Okay, and now let's go call to our snafu counter, Sandeep Niman. Could you please let me know who has the lowest snafus or accounts in our today's session?
So we were having 2 sessions from prepared speeches. So lowest snafu counter was from Ashish Tandel, and lowest from Extempore Session was from Ashish. So Ashish, you have only used 4. Only 4.
The 4, the number 4. Yeah, that was quite good. Thank you, Sandeep. Okay, now let's call upon for the awards for today's sessions. The first one is for the best prepared speak. I have the results. The voting count has been done, and Soumya Chakraborty, he has been the best speaker for today's session. Please come in and take your gift. Yeah, we have a small gift for you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everybody. And now the second one is the best extemporary session speaker. It goes to Deepak Negi. That was a quite interesting session, man. Please, yeah, we have this for you also. That was very nice session, man. And the third one is the best evaluator of today's meeting. It goes to Vikrant Verma. Yes, sir. You can have your chocolate too.
Thank you very much. Next time I'll try to not be the best evaluator so I can stay fit.
Okay, and the last but not the least, it's go for the lowest R counts. That goes to Ashish Tandel. Thank you everyone for joining us, and for the last time I just want to say that we have a formal rules here that everyone who has been attending the session will be with the formal shirt and the tie, so it has been a dress code. So each and everyone has to be followed. That's all for today. Thank you all for participating and joining with us. Thank you very much.
recording.
रिकॉर्डिंग बंद
ये टाइम पे है उसकी रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर